Hello everyone, Linda Israel here, and I have the Calico Collage Peter Rabbit digital images, and I'm going to make a mini journal or mini book. Actually, it's going to be a tiny book. So what we're going to do is I'll get started. I've got a 12 by 12 sheet of paper from K & Company. It's a really old piece that was in my stash. It's a two-sided piece of cardstock. If you want to make this journal yourself, you don't have to use a two-sided piece of cardstock. You can use a regular, just plain piece of cardstock, whatever color goes with the project that you're working on. I use my paper cutter as a guide to score, but if you have a scoreboard, you may use that. Kind of depends on what you're used to. I'm used to using the paper cutter because it's just so handy. I have a scoreboard, and it seems to get in my way more often than not, so I'll just show you what I do today. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go and score a score line all the way across here at every 3 inches. So I'm going to start at the 3-inch mark, and I'm going to make a score all the way from top to bottom, and then move it over. And then in my case, I'm going to stop at the 6-inch mark, which will be the middle of the paper because it's a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. Then I'll go to the 9-inch mark and score all the way from top to bottom. And then you're going to rotate this piece of paper and do the same thing. Score at 3 inches from top to bottom. Score at 6 inches. From top to bottom, or bottom to top, depending on how you like to do things. We all have our techniques. And score again. So now that's been scored, it's got like a grid pattern all the way around. I'm going to put away my cutter for a little bit. Now if you're an expert at using your cutter in cutting the next portion, you can use that. I'm going to use my scissors, and what I'm going to do is the score mark that's in the center, I'm going to go right up that center score mark. It may be easier to see on this side, I don't know. Trying to make it to where I can see it. And I'm going to cut all the way up to the 3-inch mark. So now we have a cut up the middle, but stopping at the 3-inch mark. Now I'm going to rotate the piece of paper so that that cut space is at the top. And I'm going to repeat this on either side. So I'm just going to cut from the bottom all the way up to that 3-inch mark. So we have starting to be like a zigzag, if you will. I'm going to cut on the last side. So now we have this really wonky looking zigzag thing. Here comes the fun part. We're going to make a journal. And to do that, we're going to fold under, over, under, over, under, over. Are you following? We're just basically making an accordion fold that's going to go back and forth until all these are folded up. And now we have a little booklet. Okay? The next thing to do is to make these into actual pages. And I think I folded it the wrong way because I wanted, okay, I want that upside down. So some of the pages are going to be upside down, some are going to be right side up. And that's going to be my front and back cover, okay? So the next thing to do is to glue these pages together. So if you open this up, we're going to apply glue to this side, which will then make this a page that's closed. So I'm just going to use some Aleene's tacky glue. Get my scissors there for a moment. And I'm just going to put glue around the edge of this and down the middle. Now if you want this to be a little pocket, you can. I'm not. I'm just going to make this a nice sturdy page. So there's one page glued together. Now this page is going to go up, so we're going to put glue on this side. Smooth that out. We flip over. So this one is on this side. So this page is over here. I'm just going to keep doing this until all the pages are glued together. Now if you're a perfectionist and you want your pages trimmed perfectly, you can go in with a pair of scissors and trim off any extra length that might be on here. Looks like I've got one of these pages that I didn't cut completely straight. So I'm just going in with my scissors and making that even on any of those pages that are kind of wonky. So there's the booklet portion. Now it's ready to embellish. What I'm going to do is cut these apart, and then we're going to cut the images to use on the pages. Now this ends up being 3 inches square when you get this completed. The images from Calico Collage are artist trading card size, so they're actually larger than necessary. So I'm just going to go in here, and on some of these I'll tear, some of them I'll cut, and some of them I will die cut in order to fit my pages. So I cut, or I tore some of these images down to size. This was a Spellbinders die that I had, a circle die. I've also gone in and cut some pages out of a book. So I'll distress some of these and also add some color to the edges of that for the layering portion. What I've got here is some Brutus Monroe Surface Ink and Rouge, and I've got some Vintage Photo by Tim Holtz, and I'm just going to go around the edge of this piece of paper to give more color. So I'm using the rouge, just adding lots of color to the edge of this. And I'll do it to these pieces here. So that's how I've kind of blended around the edge of that. I've got my spray box here and some Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist in Vintage Pink. Giving it a spritz, and then I'll let that dry. And I'll go ahead and go around the edges of the bunny rabbits. I have a Stampendous stamp set, and I've cut some little squares, And what I'm going to do is stamp a couple of these sayings out so that I can put them in the book. And this is one, life is better with friends. So I'm just placing that in the center of the square. And then I'm going to use my Misty to stamp this out. I've got my Brutus Monroe Detail ink. Life is better with friends. I've got my Crocodile corner rounder, and I'm going to use the 1/4 inch and round the corners. And then I'm going to use my Distress ink and go around the edge. So that'll become a component in my journal or book, mini book. I've got a stack of papers that I've distressed. I've got all my images laid out here. Another thing that I did was I have this punch from Punch Bunch, and I have punched out a bunch of little green leaves, and I've got a jar of some Prima flowers. So I'm going to start decorating the pages in this little journal. I think this would be cute on the front cover. So like two little friends sitting together, and it says friends. I think that'll be my cover. So I'm going to adhere that down. Before I get that glued all the way down, I want a piece of ribbon to tie it close. So I'm just layering the sentiment on top of the page out of a book with some of the Prima flowers. And I'm going to go through and each page add an image or the saying until I've finished all of the pages. I got the little mini book finished. And apparently I miscounted and I stamped out more pages than I needed, but that's okay. I'll use them in another project. So here it is. It's a 3x3 book, and I'll quickly go through it to show you what I did. I decided to use kind of a friendship theme, if you will. So on the front I put friends and a pair of bunnies side by side. On the inside, friendship isn't a big thing, it's a million little things. Then I die cut one of the bunnies and put her in here with some flowers on a little green leaf. This page says love. There's another bunny on the other side with flowers around it. Then I have hope and another bunny. Live life to the fullest. And there's bunnies like looking out the door. There's some bunnies that are working together, and it says do small things with great love. And there's two bunnies together. It says I like me when I'm with you. And then the last page is you are my happy. And then on the very back is the bunny family all together. So there is my miniature 3x3 album using the Peter Rabbit Digital Collage ATC size from Calico Collage. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to use the comments below. If you are interested in the digital kit, I have a link to my blog that details all the things that I used today and could take you back to Calico Collage. Thanks so much for watching today. Keep on crafting. Show me what you're making out of little miniature albums. This isn't a new thing. It's been around for a long time. So what are you doing? I'd like to see it. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and tag me at Linda Israel, and I will see what you're doing. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit the like button, share, and of course, if you haven't already, subscribe. Bye.